Oh, how about now? Can you hear me now? Testing, testing, testing. One, two, three, four, four. Yeah, okay. That's what it was. I'm gonna do this. All right, I'm on live. Go and pull up YouTube on your screen in front of you. You should see my you should see my screen. I'm gonna go ahead and load up Rhino. This should be recording my audio based on what I'm looking at right now. Turn one light on. All right. The game plan today, I'm going to separate you into three different groups. Each group is going to do a different tool: 3D printing, CNC, or laser cutting. All right. Within your groups, you guys are each helping each other learn the process. I've documented each process for you. I've shown you in the last couple of lectures in person how to use each machine. I don't expect you to have memorized those steps, but they are recorded on YouTube for you to go back and watch. So as you're using this tool, rewind, go fast forward, speed it up, whatever you need. I've already discussed it. It's somewhere. You can access that. So what I want to do right now to start us off with is I know a lot of you guys have been having issues with Rhino, and that's okay. Everyone who I teach usually does not have very much Rhino experience. So you guys are going through the same exact motions. Let's talk about it as quickly as we can so we can go and have fun and play with the machines. So, one at a time, let's each give me some questions about their assignment, and then I'll answer it for you live, recorded, and you can also watch it right in front of you. So, anybody, go ahead. How do you transfer each coaster onto a flash drive? Got it. So, a lot of you guys are using Aporto. So, I'm going to log into my Aporto. Let me be frank. Porto sucks. All right, Porto's not great. It's it's a computer that's across the street that you're accessing. It's at our Coastline Community College campus, and you're virtually remotely controlling it. So just because of that right there, there's a built-in lag to that whole system, right? And we hate lag, right? We don't want that lag. But that's what you get for free. We do have computers here in studio that you guys can come and access outside of class and inside of class. And the software is located on these computers. So if you can't get your homework done through a Porto, if it's too frustrating, if it's too slow, if you don't have a great internet connection, you can come right here to studio. I am here Monday morning, 8 a.m. to 11:30 teaching. And after I'm teaching, I'm still here until about 6 p.m. So all day Monday you can come in. And then my colleague is here from 6 to 9 p.m. afterwards, teaching a class. So pretty much Monday you can come in anytime. Tuesday, you guys have me 9 to 11. I'm normally still here afterwards. So you can come in, hang out. I'll open up the studio so you can come in and ask me questions. I'll be working on lots of other things, but you can come here and quietly do your homework. Wednesday, I'm teaching from 8 a.m. to about 4:30 p.m. and I'm still around after that. So that's another day when you can come in and use any one of these three studios, any of those computers to access Rhino or any other software, like the slicers. And then Thursday, I'm with you guys and I'm still here till the end of the day. So at least 4 days a week, you can come in to these studios and use the computers. Friday, for the most part, the studios are closed. Typically, I'm still around working on stuff, so you can contact me. You guys can all contact me through that discussion board and say, "Hey, you're gonna be there tomorrow," and I'll tell you whether I will or not. Hey, um, Makerspace has their own hours. I forget their hours. Go check their hours. They have some computers over there, not as many as I do. I have about 75 computers for you guys to use. As you can see by these little post-it notes, some of them are missing things. And if they are, then you just have to find another computer that does have those things. Okay. So if you hate dealing with a Porto, come to Studio and you can use one of these computers if that's a better option for you. So back to a Porto. Here I am in a Porto. Um, oh, let's see. Let's share my screen up here as well. Okay, here I am in a Porto, and up at the very top is a Porto menu. Okay, I can full screen it. So when I'm in a Porto, I prefer to full screen a Porto because for a lot of us, it's really confusing that I'm in a Porto, I have a desktop here. Is it the same desktop as what's on my laptop? No, it's not. So I usually full screen this. And then when you go back to that menu, there's the upload button and download button. Uploading is for taking files from your laptop or your desktop at home and putting it into a Porto. Downloading is when you have files here on this Porto desktop, and then you're gonna download it onto your laptop or desktop PC at home. Share screen, we're never gonna use. We're never gonna do more on a second monitor, and that's about it. So I'm gonna navigate to Rhino. Actually, I'll show you guys. I'll bring in my I'm going to upload the coaster assignment from my laptop. This one right here. Okay. And usually when you upload it, it goes right to the desktop. So here it is right here. You can go ahead and open that up. Okay, and then I'm going to show you how to export. Okay, so you have two options. You can either work on your Rhino file on a Porto, or you can come in and work on your Rhino file here, meaning that you can create those exports in a Porto, or you can create those exports here in Studio. Cancel, okay, close, close. All right, here's the completed assignment. 3 coasters, each ready to go for each fabrication technique. Let's start off with the one on the far left, which is for laser cutting. You're going to go to File and Export Selected. In the command line, it says Select Objects to Export. I'm going to make a big selection window around TJC and the circles. Whenever you see all those things yellow, that means you've got them highlighted. And if we look at the command line, it says Select Objects to Export, press Enter when done. So you're going to press Enter. Okay. And this is a dialog box saying, hey, we're going to export this file, whatever file type that you want it to be exported as, and then tell us where you want to save it. So I'm going to say I want to save as a DXF. So for laser cutting and for CNC, you're going to export as a DXF. You're going to give it a really, really, really good name, like 250703, coaster, initials, something like that, and DXF. And then here, you're going to save it wherever you want to on your Oporto desktop. Okay, so I'm going to navigate to the desktop. I'm going to put it right here on the desktop after I fix this name. Okay. And you know what? I'll call it Coaster for Laser Cutting, just to make it even more dummy proof. So that way, when I see it later, I'm like, oh, that's the one for laser cutting. So DXF, save the file name, put it on the desktop in Oporto, and click Save. Okay, when you get this dialog box, hit Open. All right, I'm going to minimize Rhino, and I'm going to look over here on the desktop. That's the file right there. I can't read the whole name, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up this little manila folder down in the bottom. This is your File Explorer, and you can explore all the files that you have on your computer. I'm going to go to Desktop, and in this way I can see every file's name. I can sort everything by date modified, which I do a lot. Now I can see at the very top is that brand new file that I just exported, 250703 coaster for laser cutting TJC as a DXF file. That is the file that I need to get onto my flash drive so I can go laser cut it. So to do that, the next step is click download. Okay. Now I need to find that file again, but in this dialog box. So look for it. Here it is. Because I named it so well, I know that it's this one, Coaster for Laser Cutting. The date is July 2nd. Oh, that's wrong. Then I'm going to hit download. Okay. Now here in Google Chrome, I can see it is now downloaded onto this laptop. So I'm going to click on this one here, show in folder, and it's going to show me where it's located on my PC. And usually when you're using Google Chrome, it'll just put in the downloads folder, right? So here it is in the downloads folder. Now I can take this and I'm gonna find my folder for this class. I'm gonna open it up in a new window, and I'm gonna stack these two side by side. I want to put this file not only on my flash drive, but I'm gonna put it right here under Arc A170, under assignments, under coasters, and see how I made a folder for each tool. I have a 3D print folder, CNC folder, laser folder. I'm just trying my best to stay as super organized as I can because I'm going to forget all this. And I want it to be dummy proof for myself. So when I look at it, I'm like, I probably put the laser cutting file in the laser folder if I was smart. So now I'm going to come over here. You can click and drag it over here to copy it, or you can right click it and copy. You can right click and cut. This is almost the same thing. When you cut it, it's going to copy it to clipboard, and then after you paste it somewhere, it's going to delete that file in the original spot. So now here it is on my actual PC in front of me, this one right here. Now I need to grab my flash drive, put that into my laptop, click and drag this file, and put it onto the flash drive. Same situation for the other files. So that was laser cutting. Now I want to 3D print. I'm going to type in export. Typing in export is the same as going to file, export selected. Okay. Always look at the command line whenever you activate any command. It says select objects to export. I want to select my coaster. I'm going to press enter. Okay. And right now I'm doing this from my desktop. So let me go back to Oporto just to keep it consistent. I'm going to close this download folder. I go back to Rhino and redo this, but in Oporto. I'm going to export selected, select my coaster, press enter. Instead of pressing enter, you could also press the space bar or right click. All three of those do the same exact thing. So now I'm going to give it a new name. I'm going to call it, I'm just going to cheat and use the same old name that I just created, except instead of for laser cutting, I'm going to say for 3D printing. Okay, but this time for 3D printing, we're not going to create a DXF file. We're going to create an STL file, stereolithography. I'm going to make sure I know where I'm putting it. I'm putting it right here on the desktop, and I'm going to hit save. I'm going to hit OK. I'm going to hit OK. I'm going to minimize this window, and here I can see it in my file explorer. If I refresh, it's this one right here. Whenever you export these files, don't try to open these files up. Don't double click on these files and see what happens. You don't need to do that. When you export your files, it creates a really specialty type of file. And it takes a special kind of software to open that file. So don't just double click to open your STL or your DXF. It's going to say, all right, what program do you want to use? I don't recognize this file type. Okay, so that's my STL. Now I download, search for it. I named it nicely so I could find it quickly, which I'm not. Let's see, where is it? Here it is. Now I click download. Now here on my desktop in Google Chrome, I can see that it just downloaded into my downloads folder on my laptop. And I'm going to open up my other folder where I'm saving all of the assignments for this class. I'll file this one under the 3D printed folder. And I'm going to click this one this time and drag it over here and say copy here. Okay. Now for 3D printing, I want you guys to, if we can, use the Bamboo P1S. It is far superior than the Ultimaker 3D printers, okay? Bamboo P1S, very good. Ultimakers, not so good, but still okay. All right. But if you want to get your 3D print in your hands faster, go use a Bamboo P1S. Okay. So now I can take this STL file and then I can bring it into one of my slicers, either Bamboo Slicer or Ultimaker Cura. I'm going to show you how to quickly do that in Bamboo Studio, very roughly. Bamboo Studio and Ultimaker Cura should be available to you all on these computers here, but not in Oporto, unfortunately. So you are going to have to prep your Rhino file at home and bring your finished Rhino files here. You can export them before you even get to class. And then once you get to these computers here, you can open up one of these slicing programs and slice it. So here I am in Bamboo Studio. You need to make sure that you're printing for a Bamboo P1S. So I'm going to start a new project. My printer is Bamboo Lab P1S. If you don't see that, you can select a new printer and find Bamboo P1S. That's the only one we have. So I'm going to select that one. We have a textured PEI plate. Don't worry about what that really is. We also have our standard presets. I'm just going to say print it with this standard preset. And then file, import, import 3MF, STL, STEP, SVG, OBJ, AMF. Okay. This is just saying, hey, you can import any one of these files. So I'm going to click it. I'm going to navigate to where I saved that STL file. Under assignments, under coasters, under 3D printing. I'm going to organize this by date modified, and here it is, 250703 coaster for 3D printing, STL. I'm going to click on that. Okay. Now with 3D printing, it thinks in terms of millimeters. We, as Americans, like to design in fractions and inches and stuff like that. Okay. Slicing software for millimeters. So it's going to give you this dialog box and it says, hey, this seems really tiny. It's 4 units big, which in my terms is 4 millimeters. Is that okay? And you're going to say, do you want to scale it to millimeters? Yes. Scale it to millimeters, and then it'll bring it in as 4 inches in diameter, not 4 millimeters in diameter. 4 millimeters is like this big in my fingers. That's 4 millimeters. We need 4 inches. Okay. Now that you've imported that STL file, you slice plate. Now that you've set up your settings, slice plate. It's going to slice it upwards like a layered cake. And it's got 32 layers. Right here where it says print plate, you're not going to hit print plate. Print plate is for if it's your own Bamboo P1S and it's connected to your Wi-Fi at home and you're going to send it from your laptop straight to your 3D printer at home. Okay, we don't have that here. We're all sharing these P1Ss. So what you're going to do is you're going to select export plate slice file. You're going to click export plate size sliced file. I want you to save it here in your folder, in your assignments, under coasters, under 3D print. Give it a good name. It's going to save it as a G-code file. So we just went from Rhino to STL to G-code. Okay. So we're going to save it right there. Okay. And then to get it to the 3D printer, there is a small micro SD card in each of those Bamboo P1Ss. You need to go grab that Bamboo P1S micro SD card. It's teeny tiny. It's probably 4 millimeters tall. And then you're going to need one of these tools. This is an adapter. I mentioned it in the syllabus. I hope some of you bought this. It has a USB connection on one end. It's got a USB-C connection on the other end. It is not a flash drive. It is just an adapter. So you stick this into your computer, and then there's 2 little slots. You take the micro SD card and put it into the tiny slot, and you're connecting this all to your computer, and then you're taking this G-code file, putting it on the micro SD card, and then once you've done that, you take the micro SD card out, walk over to the P1S, and insert it back in over there, and then you're going to say print this file. So that's 3D printing, and then let's quickly go over CNC. So back in Porto, I have a poor connection. No thanks. Close this. Go back to my Rhino file. File. Export selected. I'm going to make a big, large selection window around just this last coaster, which is just lines. It's basically the same thing as this one over here for laser cutting, but I just made you do it again. So now I'm going to say press enter when I'm done. I'm going to save it onto my desktop in Porto. Again, I'm going to save it as a DXF file. And instead of for 3D printing, I'm going to say for CNC. I'm going to hit save. I'm saving it onto the Porto desktop. I'm going to minimize this, refresh. I can see it right here, and then download. And now I find it here. Download. All right, here it is in my downloads folder. Okay, coaster for CNC. So now I'm going to bring up my other file explorer where I'm saving all of my files for this class. I'm going to navigate to where I'm organizing the CNC files. I'm going to drag it over here and copy it. And then for this one, you're going to need to go to easel.com/projects. You're going to have to sign in. You need to create an account. Okay, it is free to create this account. And you also don't need to pay anything for premium. Forget about that. You just need to create a free account. I have a premium account, and the Makerspace has a premium account, so we could do more advanced things. You don't need to do those advanced things yet. So I'm going to log in. Here I am in Easel. I'm going to start a brand new project. I'm going to go to Machine and make sure I'm using the X-Carve and not the Carve, which is a small little one. And then this is super important. I want you to go to this. You can't see it on that screen there. On the left is a toolbar, and you'll see towards the bottom, second to the bottom is the import button. You're going to click import, and you're going to say DXF import 2.0. You're going to upload file, select the files to upload, navigate to where you saved it. I put it here under A170, assignments, coaster, CNC. I'm going to do date modified. It's this one right here. And then I'm going to say upload. Lines mode joined. Cut path on path. That's fine for now. And then import. You guys will get into this. The group who's CNCing today will get into this. But once you get over to the Makerspace, what you're going to do is you're going to say, okay, this line is going to be the cutout line. I wanted to cut all the way through the plywood. So I'm going to come over here to cut, make sure it's going the proper depth. You also need to set up your material. So you're going to click over here where it says birch plywood 12 by 8 by 0.5 or whatever it says for you. And you're going to change these numbers based on the material that I give you. It's likely going to be 6 by 6 by 0.25, but it might be a little bit different. That's okay. And I'm going to click over here, click that circle again, and I want to make sure that it cuts at a depth of 0.25 inches. Make sure to use tabs. You can use a minimum of 2 tabs, and the tabs keep that coaster in place while it's cutting it out, so that way when it's done cutting it out, it doesn't fly and fling and hit you in the face. Okay? So quantity of 2 tabs for that exterior cut. You only need tabs on that final cut. Let's go to, let's also say cut path. For the outside circle, I want it to cut outside shape path. That way it produces a diameter of 4 inches. This inside line, I'm going to click on that one. I'm going to say cut on shape path, and then the depth, you can choose any depth less than 1/4 of an inch. So if I say 0.125, which is half of 0.25, it's not going to cut all the way through, but instead just cut a nice little circle groove. Okay, no tabs for that. Then I'm going to click on my letters. I can hold shift to grab all 3 at the same time. For depth, I'm going to choose something like 0.125 or anything less than 0.25. And then for cut path, I'm going to say clear out a pocket. Okay, and that's what it's going to look like. That's a little preview of it. Once you get it to this point, you can do that on the computers here in front of you. And then you're going to go to Project, Share, Share via link. You're going to copy this link. You're going to go to File Explorer. And on your flash drive, what you're going to do, let's see, what on my flash drive? No. What you're going to do on your flash drive is you're going to open up this File Explorer where your flash drive is. Right click, New, Shortcut, You're going to paste that shortcut here. You're going to hit next. You're going to give this a name, CNC coaster, and I'll put a number on it, 01, finish. Okay. This internet shortcut is what you need once you get over to the CNC. There's a laptop already over there. You can put your flash drive in. You're going to find this file, which is just an internet shortcut. Once you click it, it'll take you to your file here in easel. And then from here, you can actually initiate the cuts on the CNC at the laptop. That's all three exports. Yes. 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 Okay, so what you guys need to do when you yeah, you need to choose the correct font when you go to CNC. Okay, the CNC. Imagine this pen that I'm holding. I'm the router. My hand is the router. This pen is what's called bit, the router bit that's in the machine. Okay, it has a diameter of 1/8 of an inch. So if you have font that's too skinny, right, it's not going to be able to produce that. Right, and the lettering needs to have at least 1/8 of an inch width. So let's draw a circle here. I'm going to do this just for illustration purposes. 1/8 inch diameter. And as you can see here, if I move this circle within this letter, you guys can see that it can travel inside of that area to pocket that out. Also, when I put it in the corner like this, you can see that it's never going to get that nice sharp corner. That's just how bits work. They spin in place. So you'll never get a very straight corner like that. Okay, but I run it through here, run it through here. Let's say I choose a font or typeface that is slender and skinny and thin. Let's choose something like medium condensed probably will do. And let's also make it a little smaller, like 0.5. Okay, I'm going to put that right here. I'm going to bring my little circle. This represents that 1/8 inch bit. Look at how it's bigger than the T, right? And so what easel is going to say is like, well, I can't do any of this letter because the bit that you've put in me is too big. So I'm just not going to do it at all because I don't want to hurt your feelings and break your heart. Does that make sense? Yeah? The trick is you need to find something that has this each of the widths of each part of the letter needs to be at minimum an 1/8 inch wide. So right here it's 1/16 of an inch, right? Over here, this is 3/16 of an inch, which is bigger than an eighth. Okay, that's the trick. So even after you produce this text object as curves, if you use this gumball right here, you can expand it and then hold shift and let it grow until it does fit your 1/8 inch bit. So that's how I just took a skinny font and made it still doable with our 1/8 inch bit. That's like barely doable, but it will do it. Okay. The other option would be you can draw the center line of this T like this. Well, it's hard with the J, but you'd have to draw it in the center. And what you would say is, hey, CNC, I want you to run on this path with your 1/8 inch bit, and it will just follow the center line of that path and create that letter. But that's what's known as a single line font, and you'd have to find one of those and install it. The best way to do it is just to find a big fat font, and then even if it's still too small, like it's too little, you're gonna have to expand it and grow it and scale it up. Okay, because with the CNC there are some real world limitations, right? With the laser cutter, you could do almost anything. With 3D printing, you could do almost anything, but with the CNC, it's like, well, you have this bit in here, and I can't make anything skinnier than the bit. All right. Does that answer your exporting questions? What is, what is your name? What's his name? What's your name? What is your name? What? Roman. Sorry. Still trying to memorize it. All right. What else? Just shout it out. Yes. Okay. Well, I'll show it again just in case. So let's pretend this is my flash drive. Right click, new, shortcut, or internet shortcut. Does it not do that for you? Uh, on your Chromebook? Is that a Chromebook? Yeah. Guys, Chromebooks are super limiting computers. You probably know that already. Here in the real world, we use PCs or MacBooks. In architecture, MacBooks are not super helpful. I would, if you guys want to explore architecture in the future, don't buy a MacBook. It's super expensive and it's also not strong. Go buy a good gaming laptop like the one I have. This is a Legion i7 AMDZ Radeon with Ryzen. Still expensive, but way better than the MacBook, cheaper than the MacBook, and way more powerful than the MacBook. But PCs in architecture are best. So what you're gonna have to do is you're gonna put your flash drive into the computer here, right click, new shortcut, and then do it there. So you might have to use easel on this PC. All right, any other questions? I'm gonna separate you guys into your groups. So let me go over here. I'm gonna turn off screen share. I'm gonna go to Canvas. I want to get you guys onto these machines as quickly as possible. So let's go to here. Let's go to people. All right, I'm gonna give you two choices. You all divide up into three even groups, or I divide you for you. What do you want to do? You got any buddies? You got friends you want to stay with? Or do you want me to pick for you? All right. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Right? So 17 people. So divided by 3, that's about 6 each. 5, 5, 5, 5, and you have 2 left over. Let's do groups of 5. All right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do you guys want to be in a group? You guys okay with that? Group of 5? All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You guys want to be in a group? Is that okay? You happy with each other? You don't mind each other? All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, you have too many people. All right. We're going to need 2 of you to navigate into one of the other groups. That's 1. And then the other, actually, you guys could be in the group of 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. I'm going to set up the groups. This is going to be permanent until class is over and it's back to school. So let's group sets. Let's do fab teams. Allow, no. Create groups later. Save. Okay, I'm going to do group. Let's see. Give me one moment, guys. Bear with me. I want to keep it consistent with my other class. Group. Group 1. Let's see. Okay, another group. Group 2. LC3. 7. Group 3. CL3. C3L. 7. All right, let's maximize this. All right, in group number one, we have Jesslyn. Guys, remind me your names. David and John. Okay, thanks, guys. Sorry. John and David. John and David. And I know you. You are. No. Oh, I know you're Tanya. Harmony. Right? Harmony? Okay, and Tanya, right? I'm getting there. All right. I got Mason. I got one of my Masons here. And I have Fernanda. Yes. And I have Priscilla. Yes. And then I have Jean Kelly. That's easy. And then I know, I know, I know. You're not Roman. Let's see. Mitzi? Is it Mitzi? Yes. Getting better, guys. Mia. And Angel. Yes, you're Angel. And then you are Roman or Roman. All right. And then you are not Dylan. Jacob? Yes. Why is your first name not capitalized? You should ask. And then Dylan over there. And Ruby. And Alex. Yeah. All right. So I'm missing Maylee, Liam, Mason. Are any of you three here? Maylee, Liam, Mason. All right. Cool. We're in our groups. If you guys go to Canvas and refresh, you might see it on the home page for this class, off to the right-hand side, somewhere on that sidebar. I have separated you into three groups: group number one, group number two, and group number three. The secondary name for each of your groups is a little hint at where you're going to be today. Okay, so group number one, I'm calling you 3LC. You guys are 3D printing today. Group number two, let's see, I'll switch this name. Let's do edit, do C3L. And then this one I'm going to change to, my bad, made a mistake. All right, group number two, C3L, you're CNCing today. Group number three, LC3, you're laser cutting today. So that first character or letter or number, that's what you're doing today. When we rotate, that next letter is what you're going to move on to. And then when we rotate again, that last letter is where you're rotating to. That's how it's going to go. Hope that works. Hope that looks right. I think it does. All right. Any last questions before we go and fabricate, play with these sharp tools? Yes. Oh, good question. Yes. So this week, you're just making the coaster, okay? Because that's the file we have ready right now. Okay. Once we get into the next class session, or maybe the one after that, you will already have prepared the next file, which I'll let you know ahead of time what you're doing. I'll try to screen record it so I can show you how to draw a simple version of one. So the next assignment might be keychains. I show you guys how to make keychains. Once you guys rotate, you're gonna have to make that keychain on a different tool. So today, in each of your groups, in class, it's due today, you have to make your coaster one coaster per person per tool, bare minimum. The homework assignment will be to make a second coaster with the same tool before next class. It'll be due at 9 a.m. Tuesday. Okay. I think. We'll see about that one. You guys are a little different. But yeah, ideally it would be due 9 a.m. Tuesday, which means that during this class time, you got to pump out only one coaster. That should be super easy. I want you to keep your designs very simple. That's why the coaster assignment is just a circle or two circles and some letters. I just want you to take this simple design and go to those machines and just make something very simple. It's more about learning how to use that machine properly today. That second coaster I want you to make with that same machine, you can get it done today. Um, with that second coaster you make today, I want you to play around with more Rhino stuff, explore some other designs. Maybe instead of your initials, you put your family's name or something else, right? You're doing a second coaster that is more challenging than the first one and allows you to explore different techniques of fabrication or design. And that's what I want you to do. At bare minimum, each of you has to do their first coaster. And if you can go ahead and get started on the second coaster and get that done before Tuesday. So we're all just doing the coaster in your one tool today. Okay, does that make sense? All right. So here's how the groups work. You guys have to help each other out. You help yourselves out within your group. You help yourselves out within your group. Okay? All of you need to make your first coaster today, right? In each group, right? Once everyone in that group has made their first coaster, then you can each move on to making a cooler second coaster, all right? But not until everyone on your team has completed their first one. You have to help each other. You have to show each other how to do something in Rhino or laser cutting or 3D printing or CNC, whatever it is. But some of you are going to have more experience than the others. You got to help each other out. Okay. Ready? Want to go have fun? All right. I have a special TA who's going to be helping me out today. She's already in the other room. Her name is Jackie. So for those of you who are laser cutting and 3D printing, you have Jackie today. She'll be able to help you out. She's the one with the glasses. So for my 3D printing group, you guys are taking your 3D model, exporting that 3D model as an STL. You're taking that STL and slicing it on these computers here using Bamboo Studio. And then you're going to take that sliced G-code file and put it on a micro SD card. The micro SD card is located on each printer. If you run out of printers over there, I have more Bamboos over here in the makerspace for you to use. Okay, and Jackie can help you with that. That's you guys, and you guys are my CNC group. You're going to be with me. You guys are my laser cutting group. There's a binder over there located next to one of the laser cutters. Each of you, once you get your laser cutting going, each of you have to go through the steps allocated in that binder. It's like initial setup. Once you log into that computer next to the laser cutter, you have to do this initial setup, find my laser. I outlined everything step by step for you. It should be super easy to do. You're going to take your Rhino file, export the selected file, and then do a DXF. Go to Lightburn, set up your initial setup with the binder over there, import your DXF, and then you're going to choose different settings for the laser cutter. Jackie is there to help you out. All right, get to it. Yes. I have one adapter for my 3D printing group if you would like to borrow mine, if you don't have one of yours. So yes, I'll leave it with you. Jackie can help you show you how it works.